इस मिशन में मुख्य उपग्रह के रूप में NVS-1 नामक नौवहन उपग्रह है, जिसे निर्धारित 170 किलोमीटर की पेरिजी तथा 36,744 किलोमीटर की एपोजी वाली भूतुल्य स्थानांतरण कक्षा में 19.36 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ प्रक्षेपित किया जाना है। NVS-1 उपग्रह, जो कि नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट की श्रेणी में द्वितीय पीढ़ी का उन्नत उपग्रह है, यह नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन नाविक द्वारा प्राप्त सुविधाओं में बढ़ोतरी कर देश में नेविगेशन जैसी सुविधाओं को और उन्नत बनाकर भारत का इस दिशा में स्वदेशीकरण की ओर एक और कदम है।
COT to TCTC, all radar signals are normal. TCTC copied.
Control to note, even number 481 and 482 completed.
बहुत से छात्रगण यहाँ पर आंखों देखा अनुभव लेने आए हैं। यह बहुत ही रोमांचक अनुभव होता है जब रॉकेट का प्रक्षेपण हम देखते हैं।
We are 23 minutes from the launch. The GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission intends to place the NVS-01, a navigation satellite weighing 2,232 kgs, into an orbit with perigee at 170 kilometers and an apogee of 36,744 kilometers with 19.36 degrees inclination. It is going to be an eastward mission for a geostationary satellite. Today's launch will be the fourth launch of ISRO this year, while the second launch pad is playing host for second time in 2023. This is 15th launch of GSLV, which flew its first ever mission in 2001. Present launch is 9th flight with indigenous cryo stage, of which 3 were developmental and this one, 6th, is the operational flight.
इस वर्ष का यह चौथा प्रमोशन मिशन है। SSLV D2 से सफल शुरुआत करते हुए LVM-3 OneWeb India 2 मिशन, फिर PSLV C55 Telios 2 मिशन हमने देखा और आज GSLV F12 NVS-1 हम देखने जा रहे हैं। यह GSLV Mark II श्रेणी में इसरो की चतुर्थ पीढ़ी का रॉकेट है। यह इस श्रेणी में इसकी 15वीं प्रमोशन होगा।
ROD, Roger.
COI to ROD, all EA systems are ready for launch.
GSLV F12 के साथ स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन भी संलग्न है और यह उसकी 9वीं उड़ान होगी।
ROD, Roger.
RSO to ROD, range safety systems are ready for
This year, ISRO has conducted the launch of SSLV D2 EOS-07 mission from the first launch pad in the month of February. In March, LVM-3 M3 OneWeb India 2 mission was held from the second launch pad. PSLV C55 Telios 2 mission successfully lifted off in April from the first launch pad, and here we are, all set for the GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission from the second launch pad.
अब हम प्रमोशन से 20 मिनट 23 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
ROD to mission director, range is ready for GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Mission director, Roger.
TTC director to mission director. TTC director confirms readiness of ISRO stations and network for supporting GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission.
Mission director, Roger.
Minus 20 minutes.
Control, even number 506 completed.
GSLV F12 NVS-1 मिशन के प्रमोशन की उल्टी गिनती 27.5 घंटे पूर्व शुरू हो चुकी है। इस दौरान यान को पावर ऑन किया गया है। सभी तंत्रों तथा प्रणालियों की स्वास्थ्य जांच की जा रही है। L40 स्टेज
Director Roger.
तथा GS2 स्टेज जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, उन पे भराव की स्थिति प्राप्त कर भराव पूर्ण कर लिया गया है। ऐसा ही क्रायो स्टेज के लिए भी स्वास्थ्य जांच पूर्ण की जा चुकी है तथा लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन, लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का भराव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। सभी सहायक तथा सुरक्षा तंत्र अपेक्षानुकूल प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। साथ ही उपग्रह को भी पावर ऑन कर स्वास्थ्य जांच तथा बैटरी आवेशन किया जा रहा है। सभी प्रणोदक टंकियों पर उचित दबाव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम को भी ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर लोड कर दिया गया है।
View and launch authorization board has cleared to go ahead with the countdown and launch operations of GSLV F12 NVS-1 mission. Based on the readiness of the GSLV F12 launch vehicle, NVS-1 spacecraft, range systems, TTC network, and considering the favorable weather conditions, Mission Director authorizes commencement of the launch operation sequence for GSLV F12 NVS-1 mission for launch at 10:42 hours IST today, that is 29th May 2023.
All stations to note, Mission Director has given authorization for launch.
Authorized for H tank and O tank.
The countdown for the launch has been 27.5 hours long, that had started at 7:42 in the morning on Sunday. During the countdown, the launch vehicle systems, liquid propellant storage and servicing systems at the launch complex, and the range instrument systems
Data loggers are on shot to station.
carry out final preparation activities leading to the launch. And you have a little while ago watched the Mission Director Shri N.P. Giri authorizing the start of automatic launch sequence. It is basically a capsule of very critical functions of the launch vehicle stages and satellites run and monitored by ground-based computers. If all the parameters are found acceptable, the onboard computer takes over and very soon thereafter the actual launch takes place.
Minus 17 minutes.
सभी वैज्ञानिक अभियंतागण अपने कार्य कुशलतापूर्वक पूर्ण करके इस मिशन के लिए आतुरता से इंतजार कर रहे हैं। कुछ अंतिम गतिविधियां तथा जांच बाकी हैं। अभी अभी हमने देखा मिशन डायरेक्टर ने ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने का अनुमोदन दे दिया है। ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने के पश्चात पूर्ण नियंत्रण ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर के पास चला जाता है। रॉकेट के पास खुद का ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर है, वह पूरे जांच
Minus 16 minutes.
पूर्ण रूप से सुनिश्चित करता है और तत्पश्चात कोर स्टेज के प्रज्वलन का कमांड देगा।
LSC Roger.
These servers activated. MC confirms data from SHAR-1 and SHAR-2.
Automatic launch sequence initiated for GSLV F12 launch. ALS in auto mode.
आप सभी दर्शकों के लिए अब प्रस्तुत है इस लॉन्च व्हीकल GSLV Mark II GSLV F12 का संक्षिप्त इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो।
Minus 15 minutes.
Request CGSS to confirm.
प्रथम चरण जो कि ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, इसका यह नोजल एंड सेगमेंट कोर बेस श्राउड के साथ यहाँ SVAB सेकेंडरी व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग पर लाया गया है। तत्पश्चात ऊपर की ओर मिडिल सेगमेंट बहुत ही सावधानी पूर्वक, सतर्कता पूर्वक, धैर्य पूर्वक ये कार्य किया जाता है। इसमें कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है। कोर स्टेज में 3 मिडिल सेगमेंट्स होते हैं तथा अंत में ऊपर की ओर यह हेड एंड सेगमेंट लगाया जा रहा है। यह पूरा कार्य SSAB बिल्डिंग पर किया जा रहा है। अब ये देख रहे हैं आप इग्नाइटर। यह इंटर स्टेज है जिसे अब समायोजित कर दिया गया है प्रथम चरण पर। अब आप देख रहे हैं यह L40 स्टेज है जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है। इसमें विकास इंजन लगा हुआ है। UH-25 तथा N2O4 पर आधारित यह चरण। ऐसे 4 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स कोर बूस्टर S139 के साथ में संलग्न किए जा रहे हैं। अब यह प्रथम चरण पूर्णतः तैयार हो चुका है तथा इसे SSAB बिल्डिंग से निकालकर VAB तक लाया गया।
The second stage, GL40HT, having prepared in a separate facility, is being moved to the vehicle assembly building for integration about the first stage. That is the cryogenic upper stage. Entering into the vehicle assembly building, carefully being tilted and being integrated above the second stage. The equipment bay for the compatibility checks, and there are the visuals from the clean room for the satellite preparation.
Minus 12 minutes.
This is the concept of encapsulated assembly, where the satellite is being ensconced into the heat shield house, into the clean room facility, which is a separate facility, and then as an integral unit it will be moved to the vehicle assembly building and then integrated to the launch vehicle.
Completed.
This is a 4-meter diameter ogive payload fairing, and this is the second time a similar payload fairing and a similar design is going to fly.
उपग्रह को ऊष्मा कवच के अंदर सुरक्षित कर दिया गया है और अब पूर्णतः तैयार GSLV F12 को व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग से उम्बिलिकल टावर लाया जा रहा है।
The second launch pad is based on the concept of integrate, transfer, launch.
जी हाँ, यह नज़ारा GSLV F12 का है जो कि पूर्णतः तैयार है अपने मिशन को पूरा करने के लिए। यह द्वितीय प्रमोचन मंच है।
Views from the mission control center on your screens now.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस जारी है तथा अंतिम जांच के पश्चात प्रज्वलन का कमांड इशू किया जाएगा। अब हम प्रज्वलन से 10 मिनट 13 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
Minus 10 minutes.
Health of cryom-hydraulic system is normal and cyclic charging is in progress.
DS2 redundancy and actuation.
अभी अभी आपने इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो देखा, हम उसको और थोड़ा वर्णन करते हैं। GSLV F12 एक त्रिचरणीय यान है। प्रथम चरण में ठोस नोदक वाला S139 बूस्टर के साथ 4 L40 जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित स्ट्रैप-ऑन्स हैं वह संयुक्त रूप से GSLV के प्रथम चरण कहलाते हैं। कोर बूस्टर लगभग 4800 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है, वहीं 4 L40 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स विकास इंजन के साथ 2720 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। L40 के विकास इंजन में इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे होते हैं, जिससे यान को पिच, याव तथा रोल नियंत्रण प्रदान किया जाता है। द्वितीय चरण में फिर से तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है।
DS2 प्राइम चेन एक्चुएशन इन प्रोग्रेस।
UH-25 तथा N2O4 ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं। यह दाब भारित उच्च प्रणोद वाले विकास इंजन लगभग 846 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। इसमें भी इंजन जिम्बल के लिए इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण को GL40HT भी कहा जाता है, क्योंकि इसमें हाई थ्रस्ट विकास इंजन्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण का प्रज्वलन काल 141 सेकंड का होता है। ऊपर की ओर चलते हुए तृतीय चरण, जो कि क्रायो इंजन से संयुक्त है। क्रायो इंजन पूर्णतः स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन लिक्विड प्रोपल्शन सिस्टम सेंटर द्वारा VSSC तथा IPRC के सहयोग से विकसित किया गया है। वर्तमान में GSLV में क्रायो इंजन के उन्नत वर्जन C15 का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। इस चरण में लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन तथा लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल होता है और इसमें कुल 74 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है। इस चरण का कार्यकाल लगभग 841 सेकंड का होता है। यही वह अंतिम चरण है जो उपग्रह को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता है तथा अंतःक्षेपित करता है। बहुत से गणमान्य व्यक्ति यहाँ उपस्थित हैं।
On your TV screens, the dignitaries getting ready for witnessing the launch event of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Ahead of the launch, let me inform the viewers the flight events that are going to take place during the mission. The total duration of mission is about 18 minutes. The L40 ignition takes place 4.8 seconds ahead of T0. After ascertaining the health of L40 strap-on engines, the ignition of core S139 motor takes place. The S139 stage, based on HTPB-based solid propellant, burns for 110 seconds and burns out at an altitude of 41 kilometers. In the meantime, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 1.5 kilometers per second. The four strap-ons, called the L40, operating on Earth-storable liquid propellant-based Vikas engine, burn for about 150 seconds. The ignition of second stage, called the GS2, takes place soon after the shut-off of L40s. The separation of GS1 takes place 2 seconds after the ignition of GS2. This is called hot separation, in which the upper stage exhaust imparts thrust over the spent lower stage to ensure impact-free separation event. By now, the rocket will be at 75 kilometers altitude. The closed-loop guidance is initiated, indicating that the rocket no longer needs to steer itself for a better journey through the atmosphere. 237 seconds past the launch time, the heat shield separation takes place when the rocket is at an altitude of 115 kilometers. By the time the second stage completes its operation of 142 seconds, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 4.7 kilometers per second. The second stage, GS2, is separated few seconds later. Cryogenic upper stage, CUS-15, is the third stage based on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen stored at cryogenic temperatures as propellants. This stage operates for 13.5 minutes and increases the relative velocity of the rocket from 4.7 kilometers per second to 9.7 kilometers per second. The satellite NVS-01 is injected at an altitude of 251.5 kilometers with a relative velocity of 9.7 kilometers per second. Let me remind the viewers that the geosynchronous transfer orbit of NVS-01 has a perigee of 170 kilometers, which is how far the satellite will be at a point nearest to the Earth, and apogee, or the farthest point from Earth, of 36,744 kilometers nominally. Thrust burns of the satellite will then take it to the geostationary orbit.
Pyro and wall battery on. Onboard
अब
computer
हम
in
प्रमोचन
flight
के
mode.
पास आ चुके हैं. अब प्रमोचन 3 मिनट 24 सेकंड की दूरी पर है. इस मिशन के मुख्य उपग्रह NVS-1, जिसका कुल भार 2232 kg है, और इस श्रेणी में यह L5 तथा S बैंड के अलावा L1 फ्रीक्वेंसी बैंड का उपयोग अतिरिक्त सेवाएं प्रदान करने के लिए कर रहा है. इस उपग्रह में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण पेलोड है रुबिडियम परमाणविक आवृत्ति मानक घड़ी. परमाणविक घड़ी एक स्थिर आवृत्ति मानक प्रदान करता है जो कि सभी नेविगेशन पेलोड के लिए एक निर्देश का काम करेगा. NVS-1 उपग्रह यह प्रयोग कर अपनी परिशुद्ध नौवहन सुविधाएं को उन्नत बनाते हुए भारत के विकास के लिए समर्पित है.
We are about 2.5 minutes from the launch time. The network of ISRO telemetry tracking and command network stations view the launch vehicle along its trajectory. The trajectory parameters and separation events are ascertained through these stations. For the present mission, Shah, Port Blair, Brunei and Beak stations are participating.
Minus 2 minutes.
सभी दर्शक दीर्घा बड़ी बेसब्री से इंतजार करते हुए प्रमोचन का. मौसम प्रमोचन के लिए पूरी तरह अनुकूल है.
Bright sunny morning here at Sriharikota.
सर्वप्रथम हम देखेंगे T-4.8 सेकेंड्स पर चारों L40 इंजिन्स का इग्निशन. तत्पश्चात T0 पर कोर बूस्टर का प्रज्वलन होगा और उसके बाद यान का उत्थापन.
There's a little over 1 minute from the launch.
O tank ready.
Minus 1 minute.
All subs armed.
Minus 55 seconds.
L40 VHPP opened.
Minus 50 seconds.
Turtle ready.
All sequencers armed.
Minus 45 seconds.
Tank ready. Cryostage ready.
Minus 40 seconds.
GS2
40 seconds
VHPP
to go.
opened.
Stand by for the
Yes, ready.
launch.
Minus 35 seconds. Minus 30 seconds.
L40
Real-time
VSPP
programs
opened.
activated.
Minus 25 seconds.
GS2 VSPP opened.
Minus 20 seconds. Minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का.
P3 tracking. P2 tracking.
चारों L40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए उद्देश्य कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर.
Performance normal.
Nominal launch of the GSLV F12 mission The rocket flying by spewing fire into the clear sky of Sriharikota. GS1 and L40s together thrusting currently. The Shar ground station is currently tracking.
Shar 1 main auto.
Plus
Shar
1
2
minute.
is in main auto.
वर्तमान में प्रथम चरण प्रज्वलित है। इसका कार्यकाल लगभग 110 सेकंड का होगा। इसमें 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है।
P2 change over to SCPT2.
The core 139 motor will continue to burn for 110 seconds, while the L40s continue to burn
First
for a
stage
total of
performance
150
normal.
seconds. Thrust developed by the GS1 S139 motor is 4815 kilonewtons, while each of the L40s develops 762.5 kilonewtons.
Stage ban out.
प्रथम चरण को कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है।
Plus 2 minutes.
L40 अभी भी प्रज्वलित हैं।
This is a confirmation for the S139 burnout. L40s still developing thrust.
कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन तथा प्रथम चरण का पृथक्कन।
Current altitude is 67 kilometers.
40 stages thrust cut off. Stage separated. Second stage ignited.
जी हाँ, द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है जैसा निर्धारित था और प्रथम चरण को यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
The second stage has ignited and the first stage has been separated from the ongoing launch vehicle. Currently, Shah station is tracking.
Plus 3 minutes.
जी हाँ, यान पूर्णतः निर्धारित
Second
पथ
stage
को
performance
अनुकरण करता
normal.
हुआ जा रहा है और द्वितीय चरण भी सामान्य निष्पादन कर रहा है। इस चरण का कुल कार्यकाल लगभग 140 सेकंड का होगा। इस दौरान यह 846 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर यान को करीब 130 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई तक ले जाएगा।
High thrust Vikas engine developing a nominal vacuum thrust of 846 kilonewtons. Vikas engine is a pump-fed engine
Second stage performance normal.
of UH25 as fuel and N2O4 as oxidizer.
Plus 4 minutes.
Load fairing separated.
चूंकि यान घने वातावरण से बाहर जा चुका है इसलिए ऊष्मा कवच की आवश्यकता नहीं रह गई है और इसलिए इसे यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
Two major flight events have taken place in recent past. The initiation of closed loop guidance and the separation of payload
Second stage
fairing.
performance normal.
Currently the vehicle is going as per the predicted trajectory. Shar and Port Blair stations currently
Stage is
tracking.
authorized.
द्वितीय चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए यान को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता हुआ।
Second stage thrust cut off. Second stage
Plus
separate.
5 minutes.
Thrust ignition is commanded.
द्वितीय चरण को कट ऑफ के बाद में यान से पृथक कर दिया
Ignition
गया
is
है
confirmed.
और अंतिम चरण क्रायो अपर स्टेज का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
The cryogenic upper stage has commenced its operation. The nominal burn duration for cryo stage is more than 13 minutes. Nominal thrust of the cryogenic upper stage
stage
is
performance normal.
73.97 kilonewtons, while the operated thrust is 83.34 kilonewtons. The cryogenic propellants have a specific impulse of 453.5 seconds.
तृतीय चरण, जिसे हम क्रायो अपर स्टेज के नाम से जानते हैं, यह बहुत ही जटिल इंजन होता है, इसलिए यहाँ काफी तालियों के साथ गड़गड़ाहट हम सुन सकते हैं जब तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हुआ। कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है अंतरिक्ष मिशन में। जैसा कि आपको बताया गया, यह मिशन पूर्वी दिशा का मिशन है, इसलिए हमारे ग्राउंड स्टेशन 4 तथा पोर्ट ब्लेयर स्थित भू स्टेशन इसे ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। तृतीय चरण का निष्पादन सामान्य और यान अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ जा रहा है। अब हम प्रमोचन से 405 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। ऊंचाई 145 किलोमीटर तथा सापेक्ष गति 5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड।
We are more than 400 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude of the launch vehicle is 146 kilometers and the relative velocity 5.14 kilometers per second. Let me describe to the viewers in the meantime the description of the satellite taking ride in this mission. Navigation services using Indian constellation of satellites provides accurate real-time positioning and timing services over India.
Cryo stage performance
and
normal.
1500 kilometers around India. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, goes by an operational name Navik. The launch of IRNSS-1A took place in July 2013, and with the launch of IRNSS-1I in April 2018, the constellation of Navik with first generation of satellites, that is 3 in geostationary and 4 in geosynchronous orbit, was complete. The present satellite, NVS-01, is the first in the second generation navigation satellite series, which will ensure continuity of legacy Navik services. The satellite has navigation and ranging payloads. The navigation payload operates in L1, L5 and S bands and employs a tri-band antenna. The heart of the navigation payload is the rubidium atomic frequency standard RAFS, the atomic clock which acts as a stable frequency reference for the navigation payload. This clock is indigenously developed by the Space Application Center of ISRO at Ahmedabad. The RAFS is one thing that distinguishes second generation of navigation satellites from the first. The other noteworthy feature is the inclusion of L1 navigation band, which is popular for providing PNT, that is precision, navigation and timing services for users and for interoperability with other GNSS signals. The ranging payload consists of C/C transponder used for two-way CDMA ranging to facilitate precise orbit determination. Navik is significant for India in the application of navigation in terrestrial, aerial and maritime areas, geodetic surveying, fleet management and marine fisheries. Apart from these, Navik is useful in providing location-based services in mobile devices. Timing services are provided to the agencies for which accurate time is of utmost importance, like financial institutions, power grids and such. The other applications include Internet of Things, strategic and emergency services.
तृतीय चरण, क्रायोजेनिक इंजन के सभी तंत्र सामान्य रूप से कार्य कर रहे हैं। इस चरण का कुल कार्यकाल लगभग 840 सेकंड का होगा। यह वह अंतिम चरण है जो उपग्रह को उचित कक्षा में पहुंचाकर अंतःक्षेपित करेगा। इस दौरान आपको इस उपग्रह से जुड़ी कुछ जानकारियां उपलब्ध कराते हैं। देश के नौवहन आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने के लिए इसरो द्वारा नाविक नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन की स्थापना की गई। नाविक को इंडियन रीजनल नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट सिस्टम IRNS के नाम से भी जाना जाता है। नाविक को 7 उपग्रहों के नक्षत्र के साथ डिजाइन किया गया है। इस नक्षत्र के 3 उपग्रह भूस्थैतिक कक्षा में रहते हैं तथा अन्य 4 उपग्रह भूमध्य रेखा से 29 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ भूतुल्य काली कक्षा में रखे गए हैं। नाविक 2 सेवाएं प्रदान करता है, नागरिक उपयोगकर्ताओं के लिए तथा प्रतिबंधित सेवाओं के लिए। इन दोनों सेवाओं में L5 और S बैंड का उपयोग किया जाता है। नौवहन के कवरेज में भारत और उसके सीमाओं से लगे 1500 किलोमीटर के क्षेत्र में यह सुविधाएं प्रदान करने में सक्षम होगा। इसमें नौवहन सिग्नल 20 मीटर के विभेदन क्षमता और 50 नैनोसेकंड से अधिक की समय परिशुद्धता के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है। NVS-1 L1 बैंड पर अपनी अतिरिक्त सेवाएं प्रदान करने के लिए भी डिजाइन किया गया है। नाविक के अन्य अनुप्रयोगों में है भौमिक, आकाशीय तथा समुद्री नौवहन, भूगणितीय सर्वेक्षण, आपातकालीन सेवाएं, मोबाइल की स्थिति आधारित सेवाएं, उपग्रहों का कक्षा निर्धारण, महत्वपूर्ण संस्थानों में सामयिक सेवाएं, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स और ऐसे अनेक युक्ति अनुप्रयोग शामिल हैं। तृतीय चरण पूरी तरह उद्दिष्ट पथ का अनुकरण करता हुआ
+13 मिनट्स।
यह वह अंतिम चरण है जो यान को 251 किलोमीटर तक ले जाएगा तथा गति 9.75 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड। यह गति NVS-1 उपग्रह को प्रदान करेगा जिससे वह उस कक्षा में अंतःक्षेपित होगा।
परफॉर्मेंस नॉर्मल।
वर्तमान में यान की सापेक्ष गति 7.1 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड तथा ऊंचाई 133 किलोमीटर।
We have come 827 seconds past the launch time. The current relative velocity is 7.22 kilometers per second. The current altitude is 134 kilometers. The trajectory being followed by the launch vehicle is as per the prediction, very precise.
उपग्रह का पूर्ण परिशुद्धता से कक्षा में स्थापित किया जाना बहुत आवश्यक होता है। इससे उपग्रह की लाइफ भी बढ़ती है और सेवाएं उपलब्ध कराने में बहुत आसानी होती है।
क्रायो स्टेज परफॉर्मेंस नॉर्मल।
For the present mission GSLV F12, the cryo stage is provided with active pressurization system for the propellant, which is an upgrade to enhance the reliability of the engine and stage. Presently, Port Blair and Brunei stations are tracking.
plus 16 minutes.
क्रायो स्टेज व अंतिम चरण है GSLV F12 का, जो कि उपग्रह को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में स्थापित करेगा। यह चरण LPSC द्वारा निर्मित किया गया है।
Cryo stage performance normal.
Plus 17 minutes.
कुछ ही क्षणों पश्चात तृतीय चरण को बंद कर दिया जाएगा तथा उचित कक्षा पहुंचते ही उपग्रह को प्रमोचित किया जाएगा।
The current altitude is 189 kilometers. The cryo stage is still operating, and in the last few seconds of its operation,
अब कुछ ही क्षणों पश्चात हम देखेंगे क्रायो स्टेज का बंद होना तथा उपग्रह के अंतःक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त होते ही उपग्रह का अंतःक्षेपण।
Brunei and Bayak ground stations are currently tracking.
Cryo stage thrust cutoff. Slide injection condition is achieved.
क्रायो स्टेज को कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है तथा अंतःक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त की जा चुकी हैं। अब कुछ ही क्षणों में
NVS-1 satellite separated.
The satellite NVS-1 has been separated and placed into the
GSLV
intended
F12
orbit.
NVS-1 mission accomplished.
ये हम
Handing
ऑनबोर्ड
over to
कैमरा
mission
की मदद
director.
से देख पा रहे हैं। NVS-1 को सफलतापूर्वक उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में अंतःक्षेपित कर दिया गया है और इसके साथ ही यह मिशन सफल होता है।
NVS-1 mission is fully accomplished.
The launch of GSLV F12 NVS-1 mission has been successful. The jubilant ambience in the Mission Control Center is a testimony to how much this success matters to ISRO. Many congratulations to all the teams of ISRO. We take leave from you. Do continue to be with us for the address by Secretary DOS, Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
Giri and satellite director.
Good morning, all of you. Congratulations for the excellent
GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission outcome. I'm very happy to announce the NVS-01 navigation satellite for the Navi constellation has been placed in the precise orbit by GSLV F12 vehicle. Congratulations to the entire team ISRO for making this mission happen. As all of you are aware, this mission of GSLV F12 is after the debacle that we had in F10 mission, where there was an issue in the cryogenic stage. The cryogenic engine ignition could not be accomplished. And I'm very happy that the corrections, the modifications in the cryogenic stage that we have done in this stage, as well as the lessons that we learned out of it to make our cryogenic stage more reliable, has really paid benefits. And we are seeing the success in our GSLV Mark III LVM3 mission with the C25 stage, as well as with the CUS stage with the required modifications done. So I want to specifically thank the entire failure analysis committee who went through this and made our life much better. And also for LPSC, Liquid Propulsion System Center, who worked hard to make sure the cryogenic stage is brought back to its high levels of reliability. Today, the NAVIC satellite NVS-01 is the second generation of navigation satellite with additional capabilities that we have already brought into this satellite constellation, where we make the signals more secure. We made more a civilian frequency band L1, and also introduced our atomic clock, which is designed and developed by Space Applications Center ISRO. And this is one of the 5 series of satellites in this new configuration that are to be launched. So I would like to thank all those people who worked to make this satellite as well and make this mission a really grand success. Now the satellite is in a geotransfer orbit. Now the satellite team will take over, and now we'll do the rest of the functions of circularizing it and placing it at the right place in the position where it is intended to be. So I wish all the very best to the satellite team for subsequent missions. So today we have with me the mission director, Sri Giri, who will speak to you, and also the satellite director, who will speak afterwards.
Good morning. Hearty congratulations to the entire ISRO team for the grand success of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. The GSLV F12 has injected the satellite into a very good orbit, 173 by 40,709 kilometers, which will give better life for satellite. See, this is the first successful flight of the GSLV with a 4-meter payload fairing. The earlier 4-meter fairings, we had anomalies, not because of PLF, but because of some other reasons in the other systems. Now, with the 4-meter PLF, GSLV has the capability to launch bigger payloads and provide them a better aerodynamic environment. We can now confidently launch NISR next year. See, last flight GSLV F10 anomaly was heartbreaking for all of us. But Chairman ISRO was always acting as a moral booster, because of the constant encouragement and encouragement directors. The core team, along with the SDS, has recovered fully, and the cryo stage is modified with the FAC recommendations. I especially compliment IPRC, LPSC teams for bringing out the cryo stage with the support of BSSC and the SDSC. I salute the SDS and SR teams spread across the various centers of ISRO, who has put their heart and soul in the great work to bring back GSLV to success track. Now GSLV has become combined with other satellites to have an operational launch vehicle for ISRO, and has come back to the success. There has been excellent support from center directors for bringing back GSLV. I salute the excellent review by subsystem FRRs, FRLV, APEX, MRR, National Expert Committee, which helped in resolving issues and making the launch vehicle very robust. The industries in India have contributed immensely to the realization of this vehicle. I acknowledge the contribution by HAL, especially in realizing 4 meter OPLF on time. The GSLV core project has demonstrated excellent teamwork, perseverance and persistence, because we were always slightly hampered by the earlier failures, but the team kept the morale and they took the excellent task of bringing back GSLV to success with the support from all SDS spread across various centers. The role played by Vehicle Director Sri Tommy Joseph, who has been here in SHAR for many days and in realizing systems, is to be specially mentioned. And Associate Vehicle Director Sri Karthikeyan. Other important contributions were from Sri Geti Jose and Sri A.V. Mercy. They require special mention. The NVS-1 satellite launched today is very special because it has the L1 band and they use indigenously developed atomic clock. My best wishes to the NVS-1 spacecraft team for the upcoming spacecraft operations, which will provide better navigation capability for India. Once again, my hearty compliments to the entire ISRO team, to the loving family members who supported the team members for achieving this success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Now the satellite director, Mr. Bhaskar.
Good morning to one and all. I do believe that Naughty Boy has been fully tamed. Respected Chairman, Directors, distinguished invitees, a very good morning. The launch of NVS-01 is an event which all of us in the navigation community have been looking forward to for quite some time because of two reasons. One is we have included the popular civilian band L1, and the inclusion of this band will make us interoperable with international operators. Second, and the most important reason is we have included our very own indigenous atomic clock developed by SAC Ahmedabad. A big kudos to all the teams from SAC payload team. Also wish to place on record thanks to Chairman ISRO for giving us an early launch despite a slew of flagship programs lined up. I would also like to thank Director URSA for his constant guidance and support, and to all my mentors and reviewers for making the realization of the satellite. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all my team members from various centers of ISRO who have made this possible today. And in a few days from now, we'll be making the satellite operational and we'll be putting the satellite in the desired position. And later on, we'll be getting the navigational information from this. In short, if the launcher has the will, satellite will show the way. Thank you.
So we will now request our center directors who have contributed immensely to this program to have a quick briefing on this. So we don't want to take long time. So I will start with Director SAC Ahmedabad.
Good morning, everybody. At the outset, let me congratulate Team ISRO as well as Chairman ISRO and all the stakeholders in this mission. And as we celebrate 70 years of climbing of Everest, it was a field task for Team ISRO. It is like climbing Everest only. And once again, I compliment all my team members at Space Application Center for developing an excellent payload. And I hope that surely you are going to hear a lot about NAVIC in near future. Thank you.
Director of the Satellite Center, Mr. Shankaran.
Good morning. After a long time, a satellite going into geo orbit has been launched by us. Of course, last year we had the commercial launch for NSIL, but our own satellite, it's quite some time we are having a launch. And today, on a hot summer day in SHAR, where the temperature is more than 40, but you feel like 50, what more pleasure than having an operational satellite with GSLV, putting it in the precise orbit. What more pleasure do we all need? Thank you very much for the entire community for contributing to make this launch vehicle as well as satellite success. The satellite now has deployed its solar panels, gone through its venting sequence, and is ready to now take up the next operations to raise its orbit and go to the geostationary orbit at 5-degree inclination. So looking forward to operationalizing this satellite as part of the new NAVIC constellation. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Now the Director of the Liquid Propulsion System Center, Dr. Narayanan.
Good morning. Heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you. It is a very proud moment for ISRO as well as the entire country that we have accomplished a very important mission, GSLV F12 NAVIC 01. And this vehicle has got more number of propulsion systems. In fact, 7 propulsion systems which has worked in a synchronized way and delivered the satellite in the required orbit. Very heartening to note that all the vehicle systems have performed extremely well. Coming to the cryo stage after a setback, when we have come back with the necessary corrections and improvements, really the teams have done extremely well, exceptionally well, and today the performance reveals that cryo stage performance is as expected and as predicted. On this occasion, let me congratulate and compliment each and every team members, our family members, and the satellite team for realizing an excellent satellite. Thank you. Jai Hind.
The Director of the ISRO Propulsion Complex at Mahendragiri, Sri Sriharikota.
Yeah. Congratulations, India. It's very heartening to note the success of the GSLV NVS-01 mission. At this point of time, let me place on record the appreciable efforts taken by the liquid propulsion community in bringing out the GS2, L40 and the CUS stages. I thank my IPRC family for a tireless work to bring these stages and showing the success of the GSLV vehicle once more. Thank you.
The Director of the ISRO Satellite Tracking Network, Mr. Ramakrishnan.
Good morning to all. Thank you, sir. It's a really great mission. After a long time, we had a very great success here. And all our tracking stations have provided very immensely useful data. And I'm sure the satellite will be put in right orbit, and it is going to prove our navigation community a very, very useful system. And I compliment the entire country and the entire ISRO team. Thank you. Thank you all.
I'll invite Dr. Sam Dayaladev, the Director of the ISRO Inertial Systems Unit.
Good morning. Really very happy to see the successful flight of GF12. Really I compliment as well as congratulate all of you for the excellent contribution really coming after a setback in F10. So the type of reviews that had gone through, especially for the cryo stage, excellent reviews, and all the elements were really put into great rig so that so nothing is left unturned. So really very happy to see the performance of the whole stages. And also personally, I think ISRO Inertial System Unit is also very happy that because in NVS-01, the first magnetic levitated reaction wheels is being flown, where with the excellent micro vibration capability. So we are looking forward the performance because a magnetic suspended reaction wheel typically, literally, the life is infinite. So that contribution also we are very happy. So I wish all the very best for the subsequent spacecraft operations, and see that our indigenous atomic clock also performing to the best in par with the rest of the world. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I wish to invite Dr. Unikrishnan Nair, the Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, who is from where the rocket has come.
Very good morning, India. Congratulations to all the system development agencies across all ISRO centers, all industries, and all the national eminent experts and academia who have been the part of the failure analysis committee, And since the last failure to today, it has been a learning phase. We have understood and we corrected. That is why GSLV is back in action. GSLV is there for launching 2-ton class of GEO satellite. And demonstrating that with 4-meter fairing, we have demonstrated in GSLV. And with this launch, GSLV also inching towards higher reliability. It has crossed the 0.9 reliability mark. And GSLV will be there for more missions in future. Thank you very much.
Finally, I wish to invite the director of this center, the Satish Dhawan Space Center, and he is the chairman of the Launch Authorization Board, Sri Rajarajan.
Congrats, Team India, across ISRO and the industries for making one more vehicle after all these failures. Some vehicles require coaching, and this seems to be well done by all the failure analysis committee and recommendations, and has been strengthened, and it has been shown today. Both the vehicle as well as the spacecraft is having better instrumentation and augmentation to serve the country. At SHAR, we had the 2023 fourth successful launch. Every month we are having a habit of a successful launch. Let us keep it. Whether the weather is helping us or not, I hope the entire team across centers and this one comes into here for the last mile activity and making this a very good way to progress in a time-bound manner. And I also thanks Chairman for giving all the support, making us that all the support is available at this place to carry out the work without any hitch. Already we are having vehicles further, and I am also happy to note at SGS ISHAR that we have multiple launch campaigns going on simultaneously, both commercial as well as development, and I compliment all the people to do the work once again. And once again I thank the entire community for making a successful launch. Thank you.
On this very happiest occasion, it's very important that I should recognize the support that we are getting from the government, especially in authorizing us to have this launch of GSLV after a failure. And the confidence the decision makers, our honorable prime ministers and other key functionaries who reviewed it to see that we have done the required work. And also to see the Navi constellation is something that is very crucial for this nation to have a regional navigation constellation. And it must be made to fully operational status. It must be put to use for various applications that we already started to work on. I take this opportunity to tell you that we are going to make this NAVIC system fully functional and operational for the benefit of this nation. There is huge amount of opportunity that is waiting for us to exploit in the future. And also the case of GSLV, we had, of course, there were issues in the past, but I am very sure the full configuration which we all dreamt to make it operational is on the way. And we are having the next launch of GSLV with a climate and weather observation satellite called INSAT 3DS that will be happening soon. And after that, the same rocket is bound to take the NISR, the India NASA synthetic aperture radar satellite as well. Coming months, we are going to have launches of PSLV as well as GSLV Mark III, and we are also getting ready to launch the test vehicle of the Gaganyaan. Of course, the launches of further PSLVs and SSLVs in the offing. The SHAR is abreast with a lot of activities towards all of this. So let me take goodbye from you today at this moment and hope to tell you the final status of the orbitarizing process and the operationalization of NAVIC in due course. Thank you. Goodbye from Sriharikota Dhawan Space Center.
इस मिशन में मुख्य उपग्रह के रूप में NVS-1 नामक नौवहन उपग्रह है, जिसे निर्धारित 170 किलोमीटर की पेरिजी तथा 36,744 किलोमीटर की एपोजी वाली भूतुल्य स्थानांतरण कक्षा में 19.36 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ प्रक्षेपित किया जाना है। NVS-1 उपग्रह, जो कि नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट की श्रेणी में द्वितीय पीढ़ी का उन्नत उपग्रह है, यह नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन नाविक द्वारा प्राप्त सुविधाओं में बढ़ोतरी कर देश में नेविगेशन जैसी सुविधाओं को और उन्नत बनाकर भारत का इस दिशा में स्वदेशीकरण की ओर एक और कदम है।
TOT to TCTC. All radar signals are normal.
TCTC copied.
Control to note, event number 481 and 482 completed.
बहुत से छात्रगण यहाँ पर आंखों देखा अनुभव लेने आए हैं। यह बहुत ही रोमांचक अनुभव होता है जब रॉकेट का प्रक्षेपण हम देखते हैं।
We are 23 minutes from the launch. The GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission intends to place the NVS-01, a navigation satellite weighing 2,232 kgs, into an orbit with perigee at 170 kilometers and an apogee of 36,744 kilometers with 19.36 degrees inclination. It is going to be an eastward mission for a geostationary satellite. Today's launch will be the fourth launch of ISRO this year, while the second launch pad is playing host for second time in 2023. This is 15th launch of GSLV, which flew its first ever mission in 2001. Present launch is 9th flight with indigenous cryo stage, of which 3 were developmental and this one, 6th, is the operational flight.
इस वर्ष का यह चौथा प्रमोशन मिशन है। SSLV D2 से सफल शुरुआत करते हुए LVM-3 OneWeb India 2 मिशन, फिर PSLV C55 Telios 2 मिशन हमने देखा और आज GSLV F12 NVS-1 हम देखने जा रहे हैं। यह GSLV Mark II श्रेणी में इसरो की चतुर्थ पीढ़ी का रॉकेट है। यह इस श्रेणी में इसकी 15वीं प्रमोशन होगा।
ROD, Roger.
COI to ROD, all EA systems are ready for launch.
GSLV F12 के साथ स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन भी संलग्न है और यह उसकी 9वीं उड़ान होगी।
ROD, Roger.
RSO to ROD, range safety systems are ready for
This year, ISRO has conducted the launch of SSLV D2 EOS-07 mission from the first launch pad in the month of February. In March, LVM-3 M3 OneWeb India 2 mission was held from the second launch pad. PSLV C55 Telios 2 mission successfully lifted off in April from the first launch pad, and here we are, all set for the GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission from the second launch pad.
अब हम प्रमोशन से 20 मिनट 23 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
ROD to mission director, range is ready for GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission.
Mission Director Roger.
TTC Director to Mission Director. TTC Director confirms readiness of ISRO stations and network for supporting GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission.
Mission Director Roger.
Minus 20 minutes.
Control, event number 506 completed.
GSLV F12 NVS-1 मिशन के प्रमोशन की उल्टी गिनती 27.5 घंटे पूर्व शुरू हो चुकी है। इस दौरान यान को पावर ऑन किया गया है। सभी तंत्रों तथा प्रणालियों की स्वास्थ्य जांच की जा रही है। L40 स्टेज तथा GS2 स्टेज जो कि तरल नोधक पर आधारित चरण है, उन पे भराव की स्थिति प्राप्त कर भराव पूर्ण कर लिया गया है। ऐसा ही क्रायो स्टेज के लिए भी स्वास्थ्य जांच पूर्ण की जा चुकी है तथा लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन, लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का भराव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। सभी सहायक तथा सुरक्षा तंत्र अपेक्षा अनुकूल प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। साथ ही उपग्रह को भी पावर ऑन कर स्वास्थ्य जांच तथा बैटरी आवेशन किया जा रहा है। सभी प्रणोदक टंकियों पर उचित दबाव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम को भी ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर लोड कर दिया गया है।
Launch authorization board has cleared to go ahead with the countdown and launch operations of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Based on the readiness of the GSLV F12 launch vehicle, NVS-01 spacecraft, range systems, TTC network, and considering the favorable weather conditions, Mission Director authorizes commencement of the launch operation sequence for GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission for launch at 10:42 hours IST today, that is 29th May 2023.
All stations to note, Mission Director has given authorization for launch.
Authorized for H tank and O tank.
The countdown for the launch has been 27.5 hours long, that had started at 7:42 in the morning on Sunday. During the countdown, the launch vehicle systems, liquid propellant storage and servicing systems at the launch complex, and the range instrument
Data loggers are on at Sharwan and Shart 2 station.
carry out final preparation activities leading to the launch. And you have a little while ago watched the Mission Director Shri N.P. Giri authorizing the start of automatic launch sequence. It is basically a capsule of very critical functions of the launch vehicle stages and satellites, run and monitored by ground-based computers. If all the parameters are found acceptable, the onboard computer takes over, and very soon thereafter the actual launch takes place.
Minus 17 minutes.
सभी वैज्ञानिक अभियंतागण अपने कार्य कुशलतापूर्वक पूर्ण करके इस मिशन के लिए आतुरता से इंतजार कर रहे हैं। कुछ अंतिम गतिविधियां तथा जांच बाकी हैं। अभी अभी हमने देखा मिशन डायरेक्टर ने ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने का अनुमोदन दे दिया है। ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने के पश्चात पूर्ण नियंत्रण ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर के पास चला जाता है। रॉकेट के पास खुद का ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर है, वह पूरे जांच
Minus 16 minutes.
पूर्ण रूप से सुनिश्चित करता है और तत्पश्चात कोर स्टेज के प्रज्वलन का कमांड देगा।
ALSC Roger.
These servers activated. MC confirms data from SHAR 1 and SHAR 2.
Automatic launch sequence initiated for GSLV F12 launch. ALS in auto mode.
आप सभी दर्शकों के लिए अब प्रस्तुत है इस लॉन्च व्हीकल GSLV Mark II GSLV F12 का संक्षिप्त इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो।
Minus 15 minutes.
Request CGSS to confirm.
प्रथम चरण जो कि ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, इसका यह नोजल एंड सेगमेंट कोर बेस श्राउड के साथ यहाँ SVAB सेकेंडरी व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग पर लाया गया है। तत्पश्चात ऊपर की ओर मिडिल सेगमेंट बहुत ही सावधानी पूर्वक, सतर्कता पूर्वक, धैर्य पूर्वक ये कार्य किया जाता है। इसमें कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है। कोर स्टेज में 3 मिडिल सेगमेंट्स होते हैं तथा अंत में ऊपर की ओर यह हेड एंड सेगमेंट लगाया जा रहा है। यह पूरा कार्य SSAB बिल्डिंग पर किया जा रहा है। अब ये देख रहे हैं आप इग्नाइटर, यह इंटर स्टेज है जिसे अब समायोजित कर दिया गया है प्रथम चरण पर। अब आप देख रहे हैं यह L40 स्टेज है जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है। इसमें विकास इंजन लगा हुआ है। UH-25 तथा N2O4 पर आधारित यह चरण। ऐसे 4 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स कोर बूस्टर S139 के साथ में संलग्न किए जा रहे हैं। अब यह प्रथम चरण पूर्णतः तैयार हो चुका है तथा इसे SSAB बिल्डिंग से निकालकर VAB तक लाया गया।
The second stage, GL40HT, having prepared in a separate facility, is being moved to the vehicle assembly building for integration about the first stage. That is the cryogenic upper stage, entering into the vehicle assembly building, carefully being tilted and being integrated above the second stage. The equipment bay for the compatibility checks, and there are the visuals from the clean room for the satellite preparation.
Minus 12 minutes.
This is the concept of encapsulated assembly where the satellite is being ensconced into the heat shield house into the clean room facility, which is a separate facility, and then as an integral unit it will be moved to the vehicle assembly building and then integrated to the launch vehicle.
Completed.
This is a 4-meter diameter ogive payload fairing, and this is the second time a similar payload fairing and a similar design is going to fly.
उपग्रह को ऊष्मा कवच के अंदर सुरक्षित कर दिया गया है और अब पूर्णतः तैयार GSLV F12 को व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग से उम्बिलिकल टावर लाया जा रहा है।
The second launch pad is based on the concept of integrate, transfer, launch.
जी हाँ, यह नज़ारा GSLV F12 का है जो कि पूर्णतः तैयार है अपने मिशन को पूरा करने के लिए। यह द्वितीय प्रमोचन मंच है।
Views from the mission control center on your screens now.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस जारी है तथा अंतिम जांच के पश्चात प्रज्वलन का कमांड इशू किया जाएगा। अब हम प्रज्वलन से 10 मिनट 13 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
Minus 10 minutes.
Health of cryohydraulic system is normal and cyclic charging is in progress.
GS2 redundant chain actuation.
अभी आपने इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो देखा, हम उसको और थोड़ा वर्णन करते हैं। GSLV F12 एक त्रिचरणीय यान है। प्रथम चरण में ठोस नोदक वाला S139 बूस्टर के साथ 4 L40 जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित स्ट्रैप-ऑन्स हैं, वह संयुक्त रूप से GSLV के प्रथम चरण कहलाते हैं। कोर बूस्टर लगभग 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है, वहीं 4 L40 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स विकास इंजन के साथ 2720 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। L40 के विकास इंजन में इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे होते हैं जिससे यान को पिच, याव तथा रोल नियंत्रण प्रदान किया जाता है। द्वितीय चरण में फिर से तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है।
GS2 prime chain actuation in progress.
UH-25 तथा N2O4 ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं। यह दाब भारित उच्च प्रणोद वाले विकास इंजन लगभग 846 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। इसमें भी इंजन जिम्बल के लिए इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण को GL40HT भी कहा जाता है क्योंकि इसमें हाई थ्रस्ट विकास इंजन्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण का प्रज्वलन काल 141 सेकंड का होता है। ऊपर की ओर चलते हुए तृतीय चरण जो कि क्रायो इंजन से संयुक्त है। क्रायो इंजन पूर्णतः स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन लिक्विड प्रोपल्शन सिस्टम सेंटर द्वारा VSSC तथा IPRC के सहयोग से विकसित किया गया है। वर्तमान में GSLV में क्रायो इंजन के उन्नत वर्जन C15 का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। इस चरण में लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन तथा लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल होता है और इसमें कुल 74 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है। इस चरण का कार्यकाल लगभग 841 सेकंड का होता है। यही वह अंतिम चरण है जो उपग्रह को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता है तथा अंतक्षेपित करता है। बहुत से गणमान्य व्यक्ति यहाँ उपस्थित हैं।
On your TV screens, the dignitaries getting ready for witnessing the launch event of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Ahead of the launch, let me inform the viewers the flight events that are going to take place during the mission. The total duration of mission is about 18 minutes. The L40 ignition takes place 4.8 seconds ahead of T0. After ascertaining the health of L40 strap-on engines, the ignition of core S139 motor takes place. The S139 stage, based on HTPB-based solid propellant, burns for 110 seconds and burns out at an altitude of 41 kilometers. In the meantime, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 1.5 kilometers per second. The four strap-ons, called the L40, operating on Earth-storable liquid propellant-based Vikas engine, burn for about 150 seconds. The ignition of second stage, called the GS2, takes place soon after the shut-off of L40s. The separation of GS1 takes place 2 seconds after the ignition of GS2. This is called hot separation, in which the upper stage exhaust imparts thrust over the spent lower stage to ensure impact-free separation event. By now, the rocket will be at 75 kilometers altitude. The closed-loop guidance is initiated, indicating that the rocket no longer needs to steer itself for a better journey through the atmosphere. 237 seconds past the launch time, the heat shield separation takes place when the rocket is at an altitude of 115 kilometers. By the time the second stage completes its operation of 142 seconds, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 4.7 kilometers per second. The second stage, GS2, is separated few seconds later. Cryogenic upper stage, CUS-15, is the third stage based on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen stored at cryogenic temperatures as propellants. This stage operates for 13.5 minutes and increases the relative velocity from DD National. The live streaming is also available on ISRO website, YouTube and Twitter.
Control noted.
The motor you can switch on the radiation.
Today's launch will be the fourth launch of ISRO this year.
It is ready using GSLV. And the specialty of this mission is that we are coming after a failure of a rocket, that the last launch had a problem in the cryogenic stage. Everything is corrected, tested. We have proven it, and that gives confidence for operating the remaining GSLVs for NAVIC mission, as well as very critical missions like launching of INSAT 3DS as well as NISA. You are also aware of the NVS-1 architecture, the new generation, because we are adding new frequencies called L1 band, in addition to L5 and S band, which are there. And also we are making the signals more secure for our strategic users. We are also inducted the indigenous atomic clock along with the importer clocks in this mission. And in the coming satellite as well, we will be putting more of indigenous clocks in a very progressive manner and slowly replace all the imported clock requirement. So that's all about the mission, and we are very happy that today we scheduled it and it happened exactly on time, and the orbit is much better than that we expected. Its perigee is higher because we designed this orbit to be open-ended. That means the more energy available in the rocket can be driven to the satellite, so it will go to a super GTO orbit. So it's really good because it gives more life to the satellite. Fuel consumed to circularize will be lesser. So these are the advantages. So I now leave to you for questions. Thank you. So along with me, all center directors are here. Mission director Mr. Giri is there. Satellite director is here. And we will be waiting for the subsequent operation of the NAVIC NVS-01 for orbit rising activities. Until then, thank you. Sir? Yeah. Sure. Sir, last time, use the mic, please.
My mic, sir. So Ronald from ANI. Last time the failure analysis committee, what was the finding and recommendation given to you to alter?
We understood the failure reason as the leakage of the hydrogen gas in the hydrogen tank through one of the valve, which is supposed to seal it, and this valve is kept open during the servicing. While filling the tank, this valve is kept open, and it closes only just prior to the launch, not at the launch, not in the flight. So this sealing, it is vented and connected to the ground. So we couldn't find out exactly that the gas is leaking at liftoff. And the pressure in the tank is supposed to change over a period of time due to heating, outside heating, and the tank pressure must reach some condition. And we found that later in the analysis, there was a slow loss of hydrogen gas from the tank through this valve, which brought down the tank pressure to a lower value than it should be. Very small value lower than what it should be when the engine starts. There is a criticality there, this pressure, that if the pressure is not there, correctly there, the turbines which pump the liquid hydrogen will cavitate. The cavitation means it will start boiling at the inlet of the pump. So the pump will lose its efficiency, it cannot pump the hydrogen. It is like you are pumping from a deep well. No, it cannot suck it deeper than certain distance. So same problem occurs in the hydrogen tank as well. So we found exactly, and what we did is we exactly simulated in ground using a test setup. When the pressure was dropped, the pump shown cavitation effect. And this is the reason. So it was a simple problem of a valve not seating properly. But we can't find out what exactly the reason for the valve not seating properly. It could be contamination, it could be failure, it could be damage, it could be any other reason. So what we did is, even if it leaks, it should not cause problem of hydrogen loss. And we also made a new design by which if at all the pressure goes due to any reason, we will replenish with additional gas from the stage, so that the pressure at the start of the engine will always be assured. And this correction we did not only for this cryogenic stage, we did it for the C25 stage as well. And this was tested in the last two missions of LVM-3X mission, OneWeb mission, and we found it is working very well. And we were very confident this time when that same change is implemented in this stage, it will turn out to be good. I hope that you understood. Yeah? One at a time, please. It's not a new navigation system. This navigation system is already in place, started as IRNS, as Indian Regional Navigation System, named as NAVIC. It is a regional navigation system which is meant for India and 1,500 kilometers beyond our boundaries. And it gives better, very precise positioning and timing services, even better than GPS, because it is a geo-based system for India alone. It's not a global system. So it's already operating. And we are providing services from 4 satellites right now. And when you are launching the remaining 5, the minimum requirement, the constellation should be minimum of 4 plus 4 to 7. It can work from 4 to 7. So today we have only 4 just at the brim of operation. So we want to put the full constellation of 7. So, and with the time, some of the one which are in the 4 will also have its end of life. So it has to be replaced. So finally, when you launch 5, we will have 7 of them fully operational. But over a period of time, it has to be replenished because satellite's life will go. So it's an operating system right now in 2 bands, L5 and S band. Now we are adding L1 band. Already one satellite is with L1 band, so this is the second satellite L1 band, and further, this is the first on L1 band, and we are also including certain higher encryption technique for using in strategic site.
Good morning, Mr.
Only one. Shall I move to another question, please?
Sir, please brief the ISRO and NASA joint venture schemes.
I will first take all the questions related to today's launch. First, we'll come back to it.
Coming to the point, what is the good news about future launches?
What about?
The good news to the people about.
I'll come back to you. If any questions on the current launch is there, we'll finish that. Yeah. Yeah, please. All in GSLV. All in GSLV. Navigation satellite cannot be launched now in PSLV because satellite is heavier now, and it has to be launched only using GSLV.
Sir.
Every year 3-4 we are doing. Why only one every day? Why every year for GSL?
Dil mange more.
Sir, Siddharth from Beyond. Hi. Sir, here. Sir, here.
Yeah.
So just wanted to ask you, how can civilians benefit from this? Particularly, generally our phones have the GPS chip and the GLONASS chip in our phones. But when it comes to IRNSS or NAVIC, when will we get indigenous chips for placing in our phones, and how will we benefit from it directly?
See, I want to tell you, it was a deficiency in NAVIC originally. We had only L5 and S band, and we were not given authorizations to use L1, L2 bands which are being used in the GPS for civilian services. Because you should understand the history of evolution of GPS. The navigation. GPS was the original navigation satellite constellation. Then other things came. So there is something called frequency coordination. We must have agreement to use frequencies. So L1, the permission to use L1 came only after GPS allowed it to be used by the European constellation, and then we demanded it and we got L1. And after that we started building L1. Okay. So if L1 is available, it is a interoperable frequency. It can, across all domains, all chipsets, it can be used. Only thing is they have to use our architecture, signal architecture, to be used accessible, which is not a chipset basically. So when L5 and S was only there, we made a lot of effort for satellites to use L5 and S band, but you understand that L5 and S is not a civilian frequency. So they have to put additional chipsets. So there were a lot of difficulties of people adopting NAVIC in the civilian sector. That was the issue. But when L1 comes now, and the remaining satellites are launched and L1 becomes fully operational, naturally all your mobile phones will be compatible, can be made compatible without any additional investment and cost by the manufacturer. That's the advantage. Okay.
Sir, when will be Chandrayaan 3 launched, sir?
That I will announce soon.
Sir,
because we are in the process of preparation, so we will definitely know.
Sir, Pramod from
Now
India.
I have got some questions now. Now everybody started asking future. You want to talk about anything about L1, NAVIC, etc.?
So to add to what Chairman Sir said, that we had been discussing with various chip manufacturers for mobile, that is Qualcomm, then MediaTek and other companies for inducting NAVIC into the mobile. So, and we had met with some success as well. But as was pointed out, since L5 and S band frequency, you have to put antenna as well as RF front end separately into the mobile, which most of the mobile manufacturers are not ready to put because that is an extra investment for that. But now since L1 will be there in our NAVIC system also, you will see, we are going to hear a lot about NAVIC in near future.
Okay. The next question.
So Pramod from India Today, congratulations on your launch, and we kind of believe that ISRO has become masters of GSLV launch. So what about the next project of relaunch vehicles? And also I would like to ask your comments about Starship's recent launch and what do you have to say about that?
Okay, see, we have our own program and we are not looking at what others are doing, except for the excitement that we also enjoy seeing the Starship getting launched. As rocket people, we are always happy to see others make a better and bigger systems. So we can also see the inspiration. From that point of view, of course, we look at it. But for India, what is needed is to build what it requires. So our focus is on that. We are working on currently we are in the process of making GSLV Mark III more powerful. So we are making sure that payload capability will increase from current 4 ton to say 5.5 ton in the future, inducting semi-cryogenic stage. We are also interested to make our future launch vehicle NGLV, which is in the conceptualization stage, design phase with new technologies so that we can recover it, we can make it cost effective, and we can be produced in large numbers in industry through private partnership. So this is the next goal in launch vehicle. Of course, our regular launches like PSLV, SSLV, GSLV will happen for meeting various national demands, commercial demands as well. So we have a multi-pronged approach, not to concentrate on one rocket. Possibly we may switch out one rocket at a later point in time when we find that that is a better route. Until then, we have to keep all of this happening to keep our mission requirements in various sectors for the purpose. For example, GSLV is so much needed to ensure NAVIC is launched. Otherwise, if GSLV is not there, it cannot go in PSLV. It is too much in GSLV Mark III. So GSLV correctly fits to meet it. So there are national specific needs for which we work. Okay. That NGLV is already, we are in the discussion mode. Not the right time to fully tell about it. But it's a rocket which we want to make it similar to the recoverable, expendable stage. So that, and basically primarily working on liquid and semi-cryogenic technology. And we would like to make it much heavier than the current, heavier in terms of payload capability. So future communication satellites, large constellations can be handled. And the cost can be brought down substantially lower. So we are working on various architecture across centers. And we are talking to industries to take part along with us in building it. Okay.
Sir, how many companies have applied for rocket launch on behalf of private sector? And there any state government companies?
I didn't understand the first question.
Sir, how many companies have applied for rocket launch on behalf of private sector, sir?
Say what you are, maybe you are asking how many companies are developing rockets on their own?
Yes, sir.
And trying to launch.
Yes.
And they approach InSpace. We have a mechanism called InSpace where they will apply for permission or authorization to launch their rocket. But right now the requirement only have come for suborbital launch. One of them we did by Skyroot. And there is another request for suborbital launch by Agnikul. But their full vehicle development is still on the way, and we understand that is going very well successfully. But still they have not identified the orbital launch schedule or configuration till now to us. So possibly we are waiting for them to come.
Okay, thank you.
So right now I am aware of two of them, like Skyroot and Agnikul, in very seriously developing rockets, small rockets for the future. And there are still some other companies who are working on future bigger rocket as well. And they are currently in the design development phase. So I am really seeing great work being done by private companies in developing rockets in India.
So,
and we are with them, we are helping them.
Yeah, so this is Rajsiman from Business Line.
Yes.
I have two questions. One, can you update what's the status on the Kulasekhara-Patnam? In fact, you did survey long back. The other one is on the Gaganyaan. Maybe an update on that would be helpful.
Okay, the question is on the new launch pad we are building at Kulasekhara-Patnam. Yeah, so the right place. So there we are building a launch pad suitable for small satellite launch vehicle and possible launches or private launches in the future. The land acquisition process is almost completed, but it's almost completed. But some more land is yet to come to our hand from the government, and we are now securing the land and also taking necessary clearance for commencing construction. And the entire design of the launch complex is completed. It is getting ready for tendering and looking for parties to come and build. And meantime, the working to make sure that this early launches of some of the private companies can be done without full construction is also under discussion. So we hope to see The full functional operation of the launch complex will take minimum 2 years once the construction starts. But we will be able to do some suborbital launches, etc. much before that. And now coming to Gaganyaan, you asked about the Gaganyaan status. Gaganyaan goes like this. Now we have a series of tests happening, but everything is not announced. The tests are of various nature, which includes propulsion system development test, subsystem development test. Every day, maybe alternate days, there is a major test happening in many of the ISRO centers or developing parachutes, ejection systems, seats, viewports, thermal protection systems, etc., etc. But the major, the one which attract news are the missions which will happen from Satish Dhawan Space Center. So we are getting ready for one launch called test vehicle mission now. The vehicle is already here at Satish Dhawan Space Center. Now that final integration and testing is now completed and kept ready. We have to get the crew module and the crew escape system elements, and they are coming. Many hardwares are reached already, Shar, and many are coming from Space Satellite Center and Launch Vehicle Centers, etc. And we hope that by around July time frame we will be able to bring it and integrate all of them. And based on, because it's a development test, I am not able to give an exact date. Our target is July, August time frame we should have this launch. This launch is going to demonstrate how, in case an accident happens while the rocket is going, an explosion happens, we should be able to save the crew. So the crew module will have all such features to take it out of the exploding rocket. And we are going to launch for an altitude of 14 kilometers. At that altitude, we will destroy or rather create a problem and then eject the whole thing and see it is recovered, and we'll go to the sea and bring it back. So that part also we have to demonstrate. So we are training with the various stakeholders, including Navy and other people. You would have seen some of our reports, how we are doing it. So all these activities are going on. Further, this has to be repeated once again. Then we are going for an unmanned mission, possibly by the early next year, where the whole crew module will be taken to orbit, and from the orbit